it's Mina Genki this. Welcome back to my channel. So, I was perusing the Dollar Tree, as you do on a payday, and I was just kind of looking for stuff maybe to mess around with, play with, or, you know, actually use in my day-to-day life for my crappy organization. And I came across these little dudes in the bath toy section. They were little froggies. I've seen they had ducks too, and they were cute and all, but I've never seen froggy bath toys, or if I have, I don't remember them. These are not the best of quality, so I grabbed a few just to kind of see maybe they would be something that I could create something out of, something that I could design. And after a couple of days, I brought them back out, thought about them, and decided, you know what? I bet I could make these into the Animal Crossing frogs. In preparation for this, I did draw up some what do you call them? Not thumbnails, but here's some ideas of, these are all just the one sides of how I can get them looking. I did a thing for all of them, and we have to pick which three frogs we're gonna work on today. And in order to do that, we're gonna use the age-old trick of decision making by using a die to decide our fate. Just let me grab a D20 here. I know I have a couple. Alright, so we're gonna roll this baby 3 times, and we're gonna see who each one is numbered here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah blah blah. So let's see who our first created creature will be. Alright, that is a 10. And number 10 here is Frobert. Our next roll is a 16, which is Prince. Let's see, 13. Wart Jr. Okay, so we have our choices: Frobert, Wart Jr., and Prince. So let's get these guys primed and ready to go. Let's get started. Alright, so gathering all of my basic tools, I have decided that we need to clean off these cute little froggy faces. Because as adorable as they are, I don't want to have to deal with any additional paint that these guys come with. Quick squeezy test to make sure he's still just as cute as ever, and then we enter in the acetone. This is really just like nail polish that I got from the Dollar Tree. I basically use it for any time I need to get rid of any paint on any project that I have. These little froggies are no exception. So once they are all acetoned up, I wash them off with a little bit of just basic water, and then they are ready to go. We're going to start off with Frobert. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I have never taken like a proper like art class, like a painting class, and I don't really know much about color theory. Like, I've never studied it. I know probably the basis of base kindergarten theories and whatnot, so apologies in advance if you're looking at my mixing techniques and failing to understand how colors work with each other. I do my best, okay? This first coat, for example, is way too dark. Even, like, it looks dark in the video, it is even darker IRL. So I decided to kind of see if I can make it into like a lighter bluish color, but I don't think it's still really dark. I feel like I should have gone with something lighter somehow, but I don't really know how to do that. So I'm just doing my best here, okay? That's all you can ask of me, because that's all I got. And apologies in advance for this shoddy camera work. My camera is literally like a very cheap webcam that I have hooked up to a lamp. So I'm so sorry. The lighting is bad. I'm trying to keep the figure in the middle while being able to see everything I'm doing, and it's not going too good. Sorry. And finally we get to the dirty details. I used not a black, but just like a darker green in order to get around the little spots on his eyes. I believe he's supposed to be some type of poison dart frog. I'm not really sure. Those of you who know your frogs and who know your Animal Crossing characters can probably correct me on that. And I did not like using this yellow. This yellow is like a very, I guess you would call it like a lightning color, where it is just too neon, too bright, and it didn't fall well. I should have added like white or something to make it a little more opaque, because it took too many layers going over, and I kind of regret half-assing it on this part, because I think I was just kind of tired, because the painting, mixing, it was a little much for me. But he came out how he came out, and that's fine. Now I am using my titanium white to get his little buck teeth and the white of his eyes in. This is the final stretch for Frobert. It was, I don't want to say it was a lot of work, but it felt like a lot of work. It really did. But he came out more or less how I figured he would. If I were to do him again, and I feel like of the three that I did, Frobert is the one that I need to redo. I'll probably look up more tutorials on how to actually mix paint, but again, I'm pretty sure that all has to do with experience, color theory, and practice. So what are you gonna do? So this is actually a couple of weeks later. I started this project in January, and it takes me until March before I decide we're going to work on Prince. I don't know what it was, a combination of work and 2 YouTube channels and streaming. It's a lot. For previously though, I remembered that these paints were very quick to dry, but the green in this one is just so watery that it took so much longer and way more coats to get it even close to what I wanted, and it's still not exactly the way I had imagined it in my head. Here, this is like after an hour of drying, and the back still isn't completely dry, so I ended up having to put this away for a little bit longer, and then coming back with a thicker by making a thicker paint here. Otherwise it would have just been tacky and gross. Luckily the muzzles are pretty easy to work out. I'm just taking paint directly from the tube on this one. I didn't feel like putting anything out. And just setting him up, adding a little more detail, fixing the messed up parts of the paint here or there. I'm still not really used to painting this way, holding something, moving around like a 3D item, but that's fine. It's slowly but surely improving, and I think Prince actually turned out a lot better than I thought he would. There's still some color to his main coat that I still don't really like, and I kind of wish that I was a little more patient in getting the color right and getting the whole thing covered. But yeah, I don't know, it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing ever. Prince is an absolute cutie. I do also feel like I should have used for his irises, or for his pupils, whatever, I probably should have used a straight black instead of the green that I'm using now. Sorry, I did a lot of touch-ups on this one. Again, nothing wanted to stay, nothing wanted to dry, so everything just kept getting wiped off on this frog for some reason. But yeah, other than that, like, his smile, I guess, was a tricky bit to do, but all in all, it ended up really well. I like him. And so I pulled out the colors for Wart Jr. and oh my gosh, I should have done Wart Jr. first because it was so much simpler than working with these complex green frogs. I went from hardest to easiest, I think. The color that I wanted came out nearly perfect to what I wanted. I think the real Wart Jr. probably is a little more reddish in tone. This is fine, I think. The base cover came out really well. It dried very quickly. Oh, Wart Jr., just from this, if he ever comes to my island, he is invited to stay forever. Just for forever. He was the simplest of the frogs. It felt like everything flowed together much better. And if I decide to do another set of Animal Crossing frogs like this, I feel a little more confident now, knowing the way that Wart Jr. came out the way that he did. The hardest part, as you can see, working on him was his smile, was just getting that just right. But even that didn't take too long. I get his eyes done, and then I use the darker color to I don't make complete circles for his little warts, more like just the shadows. I was contemplating using something to make the warts like really bumpy, but then I thought, no, I don't think I want to add any texture or anything to these frogs. The whole point is that it's just a quick paint over instead of like a complete like redesign. Here I'm using black for his eyes, which I think was a good move, and I feel like I should have used black for the other two frogs, but that's okay. Like I said, he came out fantastically. And now we are at the end game, where I just get some matte Mod Podge and I cover all my little dudes, wait for them to dry. What's the word? Sealant. I get the Mod Podge sealant onto the mat, and after they dry, they're completely done. So here are my precious boys, all dried up and ready for display. I'm so happy with the way they came out, despite, you know, they are definitely not perfect. Frobert looks a little goofy here, and the color isn't exactly what I wanted. Prince, I think, is a lot better, but I probably could have done more work on his body color and getting the eyes just right. Wart Jr. is my absolute favorite. He came out perfectly, and I love him so much. He is probably my new favorite froggy. He's so sweet, so precious. And here they all are together. I am so happy with them, and I want to thank you guys for stopping by and watch me go through this total mess. Please leave a comment below if you want me to do any more of these and which froggies you would like to see. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Remember, you are loved, you are appreciated, and I'm so happy you're here on this earth painting with me. So until next time, my dudes. Matanyang!